What's going on, guys? How you doing? In today's video, we're on the last part of this video section of the backstage stuff. Closing out video. We got lasers, we got pyro, we got video stuff. The cat's here being crazy, chasing lasers. Alright, let's check out this last part. Bam.
That varies city to city throughout the world as far as inspections go. Some places no one will show up. Some places, or most places, the fire department will show up. But particularly in Ontario, we have the TSSA who comes out and they have their gas sniffers that sniff for various gases, and they'll check all the connections on the unit itself, making sure that nothing's leaking, of course. All right, here we have Mike from TSSA. He's checking all the dragons themselves. What he's doing is placing a business card over the eye sensor that looks for the pilot light, which obviously makes the eye sensor unable to see the pilot light, and which shuts the whole system down so we don't have any propane spewing out when it shouldn't be. To be honest with you, I haven't a clue what the temperature is of the propane when it's ignited, but yeah, it's hot. It's fire. This stuff, on the other hand, is a little burn you, of course, but it's not nearly as bad as the propane. All right, stand by for dragon test. Starting on stage left. Fire in the hole.
With 30 minutes to showtime, all of the key visual elements are set for tonight. Now all that's left for the road crew to do is to put their game faces on.
It's really critical that the camera guys deliver the show, that they be on their game every night, because there's just no redos, no do-overs.
Here in Ottawa, the Rush Snakes and Arrows show is ready to take flight. 15 minutes to showtime, the road crew takes up their positions and waits for the house lights to dim and the show to begin.
I always come in about 10 to 15 minutes before the show. Just do stupid little idiosyncratic things like arrange my glasses, take a look at this, put my water here, you know, double check this, just the kind of thing where I kind of, you know, wash myself of what I'm thinking about, just kind of put myself here, you know, put myself in what I'm doing now. Just taking it easy, you know, Bob and I just check, kind of take a look around and check everything and make sure all is well with the world, at least as far as we can see. And then we just wait. Yeah, we both just hate to run up before the show. It's good to have a little time to just kind of screw around, clear your head, make sure it's good.
Why do I do this? It's active avoidance of having a real job. I've got $4.5 million, $5 million worth of equipment that I'm responsible for on a daily basis. Not college educated, self-taught. So, you know, it's really the only place where I could get a job with that kind of responsibility. For me, I love it. There's, you know, the excitement of the live show. There's the hustle and bustle of it. You know, so long as nobody's complaining, we get to do whatever we want. So that's kind of nice.
It's time to make the donuts.
The squirrels have been fed, and the dragon is breathing the mighty fire. Soon the scream will be unleashed and the graphics will flow.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and
my job during the show is to basically put whatever needs to be or what we want on the screens at any given time, whether it's calling, selecting the cameras and executing the cues to put the correct cameras up the screen, or route the playback to the screen, or start and stop the playback that's going on at any given time. Whatever you see up there has been put up there by my hands, one way or the other. It's really critical that the camera guys deliver the show, that they be on their game every night, because there's just no redos, no do-overs. And these three guys.
How many times did they use that audio? That's the third time.
The three guys, one of them is Bill Quinn, John Fletcher, and Nick Strand. And they are great camera operators and really deliver to me a terrific show every night. And I could never, any director is only as good as the cameraman that give him his show. And I'm very lucky with all three of these guys.
That was the extended explanation.
It's a good gig. We basically just point the camera, keep it in focus, do movements so that it gives it some depth. First concert I ever went to was a Rush show. Yeah, it was great. Ever since then, I've been working towards this moment. Only reason I run a camera is because that's what needed to be done to get here.
A certain amount of songs have certain degrees of what we call IMAG, which is the live cameras, versus playback, versus darkness to allow the lighting, the beam looks to shine as much as they, need to do. And which is good, because variety, is the most desired thing. If we were to have all three screens on all the time, it would lose its impact. So when you take away and sometimes we run a song with just the center screen, sometimes, left and right, breaks the monotony up. We try and keep it as interesting as possible, or not to have people think they've seen it all by the time the first half is over, My involvement comes with the execution points, where to line it up, where to roll it in, how to kind of massage it so it lines up with certain musical cues in the show that, the video element hits at that exact moment. Because none of it is done with click track, or none of it is triggered by, timing device on stage. They play live, they play completely unencumbered by any kind of click track or anything like that. So everything I have to do has to be live and executed by feel. Standing by, 1 and 3. Go.
To the folks that come and see the show, most of the problems that we ever have during the show are not apparent. Other than if we have a huge catastrophe, like on Vapor Trails, we had a lightning strike and it blew down through the screen processors, so they went all nice and pink. So for about 4.5 minutes, which doesn't really seem like a long time, but it's infinitely long when a lot of people are asking you what's going on. So
that's the
now
entire
and then things go wrong, but for the most part, knock on wood, we suffer through each evening. that fixes all this stuff. The gadget man, as it were. So yeah, I have to learn how everything works so that I can operate it. So other than setting it up and maintaining it, then I operate it and ultimately am responsible for when it goes horribly wrong. Not if it goes horribly wrong, when it goes horribly wrong.
Something that's really nice to me is I like to feel like we have an influence on people's state of mind, if you will, is that I think that it's really nice to be a part of something that a person comes to, leaves, whether it's better informed or happier or satisfied. I think it's a very cool thing to be part of what gives another person that sensation. I get some people come up to me and say that I've inspired them to go into the same job or, take up the same career. That's really humbling.
If you're a guy who likes to wave your own flag or get a pat on the back, you're looking at the wrong business. Your reward is you still got your job tomorrow if you did it right today.
All you want to do is, not make a mistake. That's really what, that's what it's all about. You want it to be perfect. Do you make mistakes? You're human. Sure, everybody makes mistakes, but it's gut-wrenching every time it happens. It's just never gets any better. You never get used to it. And yeah, every time you sit down here, you want it to be just right every night. Every night, every time. It doesn't matter whether there's 2 people or 20,000.
Up time. Cool. Alright, that's that. I think probably the most interesting thing about this, which they didn't really get into, but they mentioned, and it's just what I caught, and I was like, that is actually kind of interesting, and that would be how they need to choreograph basically the video with the lasers and the lights, all with the music. Right? Because it doesn't, they're saying, you can't have the lasers with the video because then it affects the lasers in a certain way and vice versa. Just all those kinds of things, because, and also just lights also in general, because the screens are lights. I mean, I don't have a light on. I have these lights on all around the room, but I have a computer screen right here, shining right on my face. And another one right here that I'm watching everything on. So it's like, they're lights, so it matters. Yeah, if I turn these lights off, let's see what it looks like. It looks like that. So these lights do matter, but these are screens. So it all works together. I thought that part was like the most interesting part, basically. They only mentioned it for like a second in 4 parts. But that's what I got from it. And that lasers are cool and pyro is dangerous. That's that. Okay, up next, the last part. Finally, you guys are so happy. Except not yet. You're not happy yet. You'll be happy when the next part is over. The last part, Road Manager, is next. Then I'm not sure what we're on to next. I have a couple of ideas, but I need to kind of map it out a little bit as we're getting to the end here. But yet there's so much like live stuff still that you guys want, are telling me in the comments you want me to get to, also. So, and I'm trying to do things in order, so that's what it is. So Cool. I'll catch you in the next video. See you then.